On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel's changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
Spotify, it's Jay Shetty. Are you one of those media strategy people? Scrolling through spreadsheets, searching for an audience that pays twice as much attention to your ads than they do on social? Let me introduce you to Fans. And they're here with me on Spotify. Trust me, I know Fans. They don't skip, they stay for hours. They don't move on, they manifest. They're not a demographic group, they're fans.
Spotify advertising. You're among fans.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Lovely Rita, meet a maid. Nothing can come between us. When it gets dark, I tow your heart away.
Breaking news.
And big news tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, and there is a lot of it. We have an action-packed show. Graham Platner, just a few moments ago, pains me to say this, has won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Maine. Again, he advances to the general election and handily wins. I mean, the last numbers, and not all the votes are counted, but clearly he has a big enough margin to handily win over the former Governor Janet Mills. Even though she said she suspended her race, she was still listed on the ballot as well as others. But Graham Platner handily had like 75% of the vote. So my question to Maine is, what the heck is wrong with you? And if you look at the acceptance speech, it like send chills down your spine. You see all these women standing behind him, clapping like a bunch of lemmings, as he's sitting saying, oh, it's redemption time. It's the grace of Maine. Now let's juxtapose this with the report that the New York Times has talked to a few women, some of them who are on the Kick app. And some of them say, when they were asked, are you of age? Because remember, he was on that Kick app. One or two of them has answered, let's just say it could be pretty damning for Graham Platner. So if you think Graham Platner made it through the redemption tunnel, this is just the beginning. I think a tsunami is about to hit the so-called oyster farmer of Maine. And this guy, this to me is a whole new low. I am fired up tonight because I cannot believe that this is the best that the Democratic Party can do. He's going to be running against a very accomplished Senator, Susan Collins, who is obviously a veteran of politics. It's a woman. She's someone who's pretty much bipartisan, too. That's the other thing, too, as well. She's someone who doesn't always vote the party line. She's an independent thinker. It works for Maine. She always pulls it out. Often she's down in the polls, but she always has a very good, strong finish. And I hope for America's sake that that's what's going to happen again. Graham Platner disgusts me. Graham Platner, to me, is the lowest of the low. And if you're going to run for political office, you shouldn't just have a few skeletons in your closet. You should have none. And this guy has, as I used the phrase tsunami before, he has an ocean full of skeletons. And I have a feeling it is just the beginning. And tonight he also came out swinging. We're going to use the word cojones a couple times tonight because, boy, did this guy show them tonight. And I'm not talking about in the Kicks app. I'm talking about in his verbiage. Maybe he did there, too. That may be coming, too. Are you ready, Maine, for what you just voted in? What a disgrace. I love the state of Maine. What is in the lobster broth there? What are you doing? Especially Maine women. You guys were right. You guys were telling me the other night a lot of women are going to vote for him. Do they like a bad boy? Do they like redemption? Do they like lunacy? Or is it a combination of all three? But again, Graham Platner, sadly, as it breaks my heart, has won the Democratic primary handily tonight. And here he is in his little victory speech with all the women clapping behind him saying, "Isn't Graham such a sweet, nice, Nazi tattoo-wearing man?" Here it is.
Thank you all very much. I want to thank my mom and my dad, who have loved me unconditionally for 41 years, even when it wasn't easy. If you believe, as I do, that we can change our politics and change our country, then you must also believe that people can change. And the reason I believe that is because I have lived it. And the reason that I have lived it is because of my wife. Amy, 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 Amy. Amy Jane, you are my best friend and the love of my life. And thank you.
And thank you for letting me cheat on you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me put obviously very sexually explicit comments and maybe photos. There's that picture of him in a towel. That's what he's using as his profile on Kick. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for what a beautiful, faithful relationship I have. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. I am so up in arms tonight. I am so furious tonight. And then when I bring up the word cojones, here he is. He gets to the stage after his little, "I love Amy and we are so great together, even though I cheated on her in the first year of marriage on Kick. Thank you, Amy, for sticking with me, even though you know I was all over the place and the dam is about to break even more. Thank you, Amy. Thank you." True love story. Then let's go to him slamming Susan Collins. Now, here's clearly where this guy, I'll give him the "I've got cojones" award. The guy, first of all, talks about Brett Kavanaugh. That's a doozy. Brett Kavanaugh, remember, was accused of those horrible things by Christine Blasey Ford. There was no proof they ever even met. And yet, so he goes after Trump tonight. He goes after Brett Kavanaugh for being on the Supreme Court. He goes after Susan Collins, who's a very level-headed woman and an amazing senator from Maine. He's like getting ugly and in the dirt tonight. So it just shows this guy says he doesn't care what you say about me. I am going to try to smear you till no end. This is going to be one ugly race from now till Election Day. Take a listen.
If you reflect Maine's values, why are you funding masked agents who are ripping our neighbors off the streets, driving them off in unmarked vans? That is not the freedom that I served 4 tours defending. If you are an independent voice, why do you vote with Donald Trump 95% of the time? If you're so bipartisan, why were you the deciding vote to put Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court? The deciding vote to defund our health care and our hospitals. Why did you rubber stamp the greatest redistribution of wealth from the working class to the ruling class in the history of our nation? Susan Collins is only bipartisan when it doesn't matter. Susan Collins calls herself the gold standard of common sense. Common sense would be Mainers not having to choose between seeing a doctor or paying your mortgage. Common sense would be banning billionaires from buying elections. And it would also be giving workers the same seat at the table as CEOs. Common sense would be a minimum wage that's a living wage. It would be keeping our hospitals open and our schools funded and our kids from having to fight in another generation of forever wars.
You know what? He also said, why not release all the Epstein files? Now, let's not forget the irony. Epstein is obviously accused of some horrible crimes, no longer with us. I don't think by an accident, but we'll get into that another time. But you got Jeffrey Epstein accused of sexual improprieties with underage women. There are some people who find it very hard to believe that this guy who is on an app with all these women who traditionally on that app are between the age of 13 and 24, maybe you would call that underage. I'd call it underage and desperate, and I'd also call it criminal. So if indeed that's the case with him, that he had some sort of conversation sexually explicit with an underage, that opens a whole new door. Remember, there have been other people who've been accused of sexting, and it turned out they were minors, and they sent very explicit pictures. That's called pornography. There's some very serious charges there. That's why that whole underage thing is so important. Not only is it disgusting that he's on an app when he's newly married to his lovely wife, Amy, who I'm sure is a lovely woman, get a divorce, but in addition to that, it may also be underage girls too as well. How are you going to know? Did he vet each one? Did he ask them for IDs? Did he have them send it FedEx? Did he get it verified with the PI on each one? Oh yeah, that one's definitely not underage. You can talk to her. I mean, there's so many things that are so wrong here, but that's why I go back to the phrase cojones. You guys know I used to live in Spain, so it's better than saying the other word. But as you look at it, this guy really does have quite a set of cojones. He's going after Trump. Then he's saying Brett Kavanaugh. And then he's going after, and then he brings up Epstein. The irony doesn't escape me. While he's accused of some very horrible things, and including one of his ex-girlfriends, essentially assault. Put her arm behind her back, locked the door, grabbed her, bruised her. I call that assault. And she says there are other women too. So this guy taking the fight and acting like he is the Mother Teresa out there, that really is that is beyond gall to me, beyond gall. And the fact that he's out there trashing Susan Collins, who has been a great senator, and he's doing it on day one. He's setting the ground. And I always say I've covered so many political races, you guys, through the years. The first speech is usually the ground set. And he's marking his turf like a dog in heat, saying, okay, bring it on, because I know worse is coming about me. That's how I read it. I read it, there's a lot of nasty stuff about me. And he kept saying, it's not about me, it's about you, Maine. Don't worry, whatever they say about me, I'll take the slings and arrows for you, because I'm so noble. And these other people are just so horrible. Try to forget what about me. Listen to what I say about them. It is a total deflection game, and that's his strategy between now and November. The question is, can he keep it up? And the question is, will the Democratic Party keep it up? Because this guy clearly is damaged goods, and they wanted to see a fighter tonight. They did get a fighter. There's no doubt about it. He is a fighter. I'll say he's kind of eloquent. Same person who kind of manufactured Mondani, was sort of the guy who was pulling the strings behind both. Jewish guy. Interesting. Mondani, Jewish guy with the guy with the tattoo in Maine. You can make what you wish of that. But what's interesting, he is a decent communicator, and he is a decent fighter, and he's clearly showing I'm fighting for Maine. Meantime, some other big breaking news tonight, and this one coming from the political sphere in California.
Breaking news.
And just in a little bit ago, Steve Hilton has advanced in the California governor's race, and this is a biggie. It will be Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra, who is definitely a progressive. This is the guy who was the former Attorney General of California, Javier Becerra, former health secretary under Joe Biden. And now it is a two-person race. Steve Hilton is officially in. The AP just called it. That's sort of the Bible, if you will, of politics. And it is now a done deal. And that's great news for California. And just about, I think it was about 30 minutes before the news broke, we spoke with Steve. I love Steve. He's an old friend. With Steve Hilton, we talked with him on Katz and Cosby. And at that point, he thought he was going to get in, but it wasn't official. But listen to what he said.
We will now definitely have a choice for change in California. LA's been denied that choice with Spencer Pratt being eliminated, but we will have a choice in California. 4 more years of this insanity, the cost, the chaos, the incompetence, or a new direction, lower taxes, less costs, help your business, fix our schools, get back to common sense. That's what I'm offering. Javier Becerra is the living embodiment of more of the same. So actually, I know people will look at this result and say, well, you know, it's a foregone conclusion. It's California. Becerra's going to win. I don't see it that way at all. They are in for a shock this year.
And they are now poised to maybe have that shock now that Steve Hilton is officially in. Steve Hilton versus Javier Becerra in California. That race is going to be one for the ages, as is Graham Platner versus Susan Collins. And the reason it's such a big deal, you guys, is the Democrats feel they have to flip Maine. If they can flip Maine, they have a chance to potentially win the majority in the U.S. Senate. And there's almost no path if they can't flip Maine. So a lot of roads lead to Maine, and that's why they're even willing to have a Nazi tattooed wife cheater and so much more. 1-800-848-9222. And boy, I can't wait to take your calls when we come back.
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit DyingDollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's DyingDollar.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Breaking news.
And more big news coming in on the primaries tonight. Just in, Lindsey Graham handily wins the GOP nomination for the U.S. Senate seat, which he is holding. So he did very, very well. He will, of course, now go to the general election, but it wasn't even close. Lindsey Graham, a fellow graduate of University of South Carolina. So we're proud of Lindsey. And then also in the governor's race, this is interesting. In the South Carolina GOP primary, because South Carolina tonight, also North Dakota and Nevada, as well as Maine, have their primaries tonight. But in the GOP governor's race, their primary, Nancy Mace, well known, but she did not get President Trump's backing. And she had a very poor showing. She was like dead last in the race. Did not do well. Obviously, not having Trump's backing in a state like South Carolina, where President Trump has done so well, really hurt her. But Pamela Yvette, who's the lieutenant governor there, will advance to a runoff. And Alan Wilson will also advance to a runoff, the attorney general. So those two took the top slot. They will go to a runoff. in that GOP primary governor's race in South Carolina. But Nancy Mace, who was snubbed by President Trump, she has often voted against him, and it clearly hurt her in the Palmetto State. We're going to take your calls, everybody, when we come back here on The Rita Cosby Show.
The Rita Cosby Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Back the Blue.
And this Back the Blue segment coming from Oceanport, New Jersey, where police officers rescued a woman who walked away from a special needs group home and was found swimming in a creek. The officers arrived at the home after getting a 911 call, and they quickly deployed an extensive search of the area. Upon locating her, the officers repeatedly called out to her, instructing the woman to get out of the water in the creek, but she completely ignored the officers, and she continued swimming further and further downstream where there was a big current. Very scary situation. After assessing the danger and the urgency of the situation, an officer entered the rushing water and was eventually able to stop her from swimming to assure her safety and to keep her afloat. Then another officer ran along the exterior fencing, which secured the area. He cut through the fence along the shoreline so that other officers could gain access into the water and then help that other officer bring her safely to shore. Luckily, they were able to get her back to dry land. The officers calmed and then comforted her, and then they took her to a local hospital for evaluation. Luckily, she is going to make a full recovery thanks to our men and women in blue. What a very scary situation. And speaking of scary, Graham Platner winning his primary on the Democratic side tonight for U.S. Senate. And here he is. I will work hard for every single different person in Maine, even though I hate Trump and I love my wife. I'm sorry I was on Kick and I messaged hundreds of young girls. I'm so sorry, but here it is.
I also want to thank Governor Janet Mills for a lifetime of service to a state that we both love. We are eternally grateful. And to any of those who feel let down or disappointed or disillusioned, it is my job to earn your trust, faith, and support. And I will spend every day of this campaign, and if I have the privilege, every day in the United States Senate doing exactly that.
Senator Perv, not Senator Platner. Can you imagine if this guy's in there? I'll earn your trust. Right. Like he's done anything to earn our trust of late. And I believe there's a lot more to come, that this is just the beginning. So here is a little bit of Graham Platner. Let's not forget some of the disgusting things he said that we've just learned about just in the last few weeks. Can you imagine what we're going to learn about him in the next few months? And one of the things that I found just incredibly distasteful about him, among other things, was the fact that he smeared Chris Kyle. I knew Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, the legendary American Sniper, of course, of the great film with Bradley Cooper, the guy who took so many hits to take out so many bad guys overseas in the middle of a war zone, a true American hero. Yet Graham Platner, I guess this hero wannabe, felt it was appropriate to mock the late Chris Kyle. Listen to this.
I didn't know who these guys were. I left that deployment and continued on with my life, did a few more deployments, both in the Marine Corps and the Army. It wasn't until somebody told me to read Chris Kyle's book. His stories about how many people he was shooting certainly tracked with the behavior I witnessed and people I knew witnessed down at the Gov Center, which is it's relatively easy to get high numbers like that if you're a little less discriminating, you're fire than say a more professional unit would be. So that's when I kind of learned about Task Unit Bruiser, about Chris Kyle. And then it wasn't until many years later that if someone recommended like Jocko's podcast or book to me, and I put that together and was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I almost felt like there was like a weird practical joke being played on me by the war. That like all these years later, I'm like having to like. People are telling me like, "Oh, look how great this guy is. These guys are amazing heroes. This whole incredible thing, the paragon of leadership." And I'm just sitting there like, am I living in like an alternate reality? Because this is the exact opposite of my experience.
No, we're living in an alternate reality now that we're finding out that you've advanced on the Democratic primary against the former governor too, who suspended her campaign because she couldn't raise funds because your group, similar group that got Mondani elected, has now at least gotten you into the primary lead and have won the primary in the last few minutes. It's shocking. The latest number is 72%. Janet Mills, like about 19.5%. And the third place, not even barely a blip there, but that shows he handily won. Who are these people voting for Graham Platner? And will they change their mind come November if what we are learning is just the tip of the iceberg? How disgusting, him mocking Chris Kyle. And then, remember, it was last week, he was on the, maybe I wasn't the greatest boyfriend, and maybe made a few mistakes. And, that big tattoo, where did that come from? Remember this moment last week?
I want to talk about that because I think this was troubling to a lot of people. And I think, again, your account of it assuaged some of that fear, clearly in Maine voters, as reflected, again, by reporting and polling. She says, same person, that you referred to the tattoo as my Totenkampf, which is the German word for this particular Nazi symbol. There's other reporting in Jewish Insider in October in which an anonymous acquaintance says you used that same phrase. Did you know what this tattoo was about before last October when you said you first became aware of it?
No, I did not. And I also think it's important to note that it's very likely, and I think that she is that same source. She's the person who's been telling people this from the beginning. And so I feel like, we're kind of rehashing the thing we've been through. I had that tattoo for 17 years. It's a skull and crossbones. I got it with other Marines who I served with in Iraq, in Croatia. And in the time that I had it, I got a security clearance with the State Department. I re-enlisted in the United States Army, where I was screened for gang and hate tattoos. And I took my shirt off in front of my family, many of whom are Jewish. We even released as a campaign a video, which you're putting up on the screen right now, of me dancing at my brother's wedding to his wife, who is Jewish, and her fully extended Jewish family. And I would not have taken my shirt off in that context if I had known. And so any statement saying that I did know is again, totally false.
I guess he just has a tattoo on there for 17 years that's so vile and disgusting, but doesn't bother asking about it. He just thinks, it's nice artwork. I mean, does anybody buy that? I don't. And it makes me question a lot of things in his background. And again, he keeps saying, these women that I was on the app for, my wife's forgiven me. That's a very forgiving woman. I don't know of any woman out there that would have forgiven that. I'm just telling you, me or any of my friends, none of us would have forgiven him. Never, ever. But so he claims so. By the way, she's also on the campaign staff, his wife. There are reports she's earned tens of thousands of dollars being on the campaign. Just throwing it out there. And here is Graham Platner when he was asked about that app. It's called Kick, which he is still on. And this is a shot of him in his towel, posing there, still up. It's been up there, I think, 3,000 days. So that should say a lot. I would assume he's had a lot of activity in the 3,000 days. And we're going to find out a lot about it, I think, in the next several 100 days. But here is Graham Platner talking about how he's so sure everybody was talking to was an adult.
Want to give some privacy in marriage, but I really do feel like I need to get these answers from you, which is like the people you were texting with, whatever that was, in whatever context they were adult women, you knew that. and it was consensual. Is that true?
Yes.
And you have that you confirmed that. You knew their age.
Yes. Oh, God. I mean, yeah. Yes, of course.
I want to play something for you.
Of course. You're on an app. You're still there wearing a towel as your profile picture, but you vetted each and every one. I mean, that's the most unbelievable comment that I've ever heard. If anybody knows anything about these crazy apps, and also people put in fake ages, fake this, fake that, but he's sure that every single one of them was an adult. I guess he had them all signed consensual documents and verified before he ever sent who knows what picture he sent to them. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more about Graham Platner and a lot more of Graham Platner than we ever want to between now and November. Susan Collins, I know you. Bring it on. Bring it on. Do it for the sake of Maine. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Alice in Ohio, line 5. Go ahead, Alice.
Oh, Rita, I don't know where to begin. This guy has been perfecting his line for years with women, with anything. He's a silver-tongued devil. If his mouth is moving, he's lying. I can't believe they did this. He's sullying the Marines just by mentioning his association with them. I would say that the people who are voting for him are immature young people, easily impressed. This guy sounds plausible. Who is going to vote for someone? He's kinky. He's a communist. He's anti-Jewish. He's pro-Nazi. He's nuts. He abuses women, and his wife needs to sit down and talk to someone. He needs to sit down and talk to someone too for the opposite reason.
Yeah, and I think he should be. I think he should be spending his time in therapy versus on the campaign trail. I really do. I think Maine deserves so much better. He is not worthy. And this is not even a question of redemption. I'm all for, people's second chances. He's already had like 50 chances, and it goes to character. That's the difference, Alice. Like, this is not I made a mistake, when I was younger, or I did something stupid. I fixed it. I rectified it. I ran a stop sign, or I did this, or I did that, things where people go, okay, well, he lived and learned. He wouldn't have said that to a girlfriend again, or he did, No, this is like, if you listen to that girlfriend, and it was a girlfriend of his for 3 years. It wasn't like some passing fling. She says like he twisted her arm behind her back, and then locked her in a room, and then used to like grab her leaving bruises. I mean, that's like serious stuff. And I have a feeling that's the tip of the iceberg. So, I mean, to me, this is really, and you have somebody on the other side who's actually really a moderate, who's a very common sense, a woman, and he's going to go after her integrity, which is what he did tonight. I mean, he really went after her. He started talking about her husband. He started doing all this stuff. Like, this guy is going to go well below the belt. And you heard what I said. Bring it on, Susan Collins. If this is the case, you open up every opposition research on this guy and you flood the zone. You have to flood the zone. You get these women to speak out. These women seem, from what I've seen, I haven't seen them, but I've seen their quotes, and I know people who know them. So if that's the case, then bring them out. They should come out there and say, this man is unworthy. I mean, this is like a whole new set of low, Alice. I've never seen such a low candidate advance so high in politics. Your thoughts?
He makes the current governor in California look like Mother Teresa.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah. He does. Alice, we got to pray big time for Maine. There is no doubt about it, my friend. There is no doubt. Alice, thank you so much. Hey, let's go to Norman on line 3. Norman, we miss you.
I miss you too, Rita.
How are you?
I've been better. I just want to clear up some things. basically what happened to me. Okay. I'm in the hospital.
Norm, this
having to do with my liver.
Norman, this doesn't even sound like you.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to speak. Please, my voice, everything is screwed up. I'm trying, Rita.
Oh my God, okay. Norm. So fill me in. Let's fill us in, please, on how you're doing.
Okay. The end of April, I took sick. I thought I had a flu. It wasn't a flu. It went from, my temperature went from like 98.6 up to 103.5. And I was very, very sick. And I stayed in bed for around almost a month. And basically, I just want to make it clear to people. I'm not dying. I have something wrong with my it's my liver and my pancreas. I've had a biopsy, and I have a drainage thing, draining whatever gook out of my body. And the next step for me, because I can't take care of myself with all the medications, I need daily infusions of antibiotics and all sorts of other drugs, is I'm going to a rehab center in Brooklyn, actually in my neighborhood. And that's basically it.
Wow. Well,
and I wish my friends who call the radio station would not give their opinions on stuff, because I don't even know what the hell is going on.
Well, I want to say, Norm, we love you. I can't tell, I hope you feel the love, because we have been keeping you in our prayers, and we have been thinking of you so much. And we have a lot of callers who've been calling in and say, "Where's Norman?" So I have tears in my eyes right now, hearing from you and hearing that you sound like you're going to be doing better. And at least they're testing all these things, and you're getting good help. So that just brings a lot of joy to so many of us who love you so much and appreciate you so much, Norm. And I can't tell you how much you are missed and how much we have been praying for you, and just thinking of you. I so much believe in the power of prayer, Norm, but you got to keep us posted. And we love you, Norm, and you got to stay strong and great, and let us know if you need anything, because you have an army of friends and support here on the Rita Cosby Show. And you know how much I think of you, Norm. This makes me so happy to see you call in and to see you at least communicate and let us know how you're doing. Will you please make sure you keep us posted?
Yeah. At this point, I don't want people reaching out for me. I just want to shout out to Joaquin, because he was very vociferous on what happened to me. Uh-huh. And I wanted to say thank you, buddy.
Oh,
I appreciate you.
Oh, Norm, we love you.
I appreciate your commentary. But for my friends who listen to me and all that, please don't try to reach out to me now. It's taking all my energy, all the energy to try to recover from this. And I don't know how long it's going to take. I've dropped a substantial number of weight. I weigh like 140 pounds. I'm very skinny and fragile. And right now, I don't want the texts. I don't want the calls. I wish you well. And when I'm well, we'll talk again.
All right, Norm, we love you. Norm, we sadly have a hard break, but I want you to know everybody's listening to you. And we all send you love and light. You let us know if you need anything. And you're one of the best out there, Norm. You're going to do great. And you stay strong. You keep that energy. And just know we are always here for you. We love you and can't wait to talk with you soon, Norm. Love you very much. And everybody will be right back.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Wow, I don't know about you guys, but that was really a surprise, but also so beautiful to hear from Norman, who we love, as all you guys who've been listening to the show for years. We are all family, and Norman is a big part of our family, and I miss him, but it brought tears to my eyes to hear him call in suddenly and surprise all of us and to let us know that he is staying strong and fighting it. He also said that he's going to be moving to a rehab soon, and it sounds like he's getting some good medical care. So, Norm, we love you, and we can't wait to hear from you soon. And we're going to continue with the show after the break.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.